Hello everyone, in this session we will discuss about the laminate PCB as well as foil PCB. So we will discuss about the laminate. So laminate PCB, so there will be a dielectric material, or we call it as core of the PCB, so which is FR4 material. So FR4 refers to fiberglass reinforced epoxy. I just write it down here. So the first thing is FR4 material. So this is abbreviation of this FR4 is fiberglass reinforced epoxy material, so which is widely used in the PCB industry because the property of this particular component is that is an excellent electrical insulator, and also it is mechanically very strong. So the first property is it is an excellent insulating property. So this is due to the insulation, it's excellent. And the second point is which is mechanically strong, so we can use it for component placement on top and bottom of the PCB. So this is FR4 material, and then the abbreviation of FR4 is fiberglass reinforced epoxy, which is non-conductor, that is insulator, and which is strong and mechanically which is very strong, so that it will hold the PCB components easily. So on top of it we will be having the copper layer on top of this particular component, and on bottom also we will be having the copper print. And gently we will press it from the top, and we will press it from the bottom with a heated press. We call it as heated press, and then it brings the laminate PCB. So this is one laminate PCB which is having copper on top of and bottom of the FR4 or the insulator. So this is top copper, we call it as, that is copper layer, and bottom also we will be having another copper layer. In between we will be having the core, we call it as core because it is the core of the PCB. So if you want to extend this particular laminate PCB, we are discussing about laminate PCB. So if you want to increase, or if you want to add two more layers, if you want multi-layer in the laminate PCB, you still have another laminate. So that will take, this will take another laminate PCB, so that comes with a non-conductor, that is FR4 material. So another FR4 material on top of it. We will be having a copper, and bottom also we will be having the copper layer, and this is the second laminate PCB. To make it bound, we will use the pre-peg materials. So the pre-peg materials, I just discuss about pre-peg here. The pre-preg material is a resin soaked fiberglass material that is used to bond the copper layers. So there are two copper layers which is used to bond the two copper layers, and then in general it becomes a 4-layer PCB. So the pre-peg here is the center one is the pre-peg. The pre-peg here, this is the resin, that is resin soaked fiberglass material, and this is also non-conductive material, but this is not strong unlike the core. The core is a best insulator and a strong material, but the pre-peg is not that strong. Yes, it is an insulator because it is a resin soaked fiberglass, and it is adhesive in nature, so which is used to bond the two copper layers, the second and third layer. So it will be bonding the two different copper layers, second and third layer, so that it joins the two laminates and make it multi-layer PCB. Now this is called as multi-layer PCB. So the two laminates, the first two layers, if you take, this is laminate 1, and the second two copper layers you can take this as a laminate 2. So to bond the laminate 1 and laminate 2, we are using the pre-peg. The pre-peg is a resin soaked fiberglass material which is adhesive in nature, and it bonds between the two different copper layers during the lamination process, and that helps in creating the solid and rigid structure. So this is all about laminate PCB. If you want to increase another 2 layers, if you want to make it 4 layers, so we still use another laminate PCB. So you will have to use another core. Now already we have the core 1 and core 2. So if you want 2 more copper layers, we need to add another laminate. Laminate comes with a 1 core and the 2 copper layer, and again you will get the same setup on bottom. So this way the thickness of the PCB will get increased. So the next thing we will going to discuss about the foil PCB. So we use the foil PCB. Foil PCB, we can do a different arrangement here. So first thing, I'm going to take the dielectric material, and so for 2 layers, so you will keep the copper layer on top of it, and you make the bond and bottom also. So this is in 2 layers, so we just have 1 core, and just rename it. This is a core FR4. The material, I just write it as FR4. Okay, so and then we will have the copper layer. So this is the top copper, and this will be the bottom copper. So this is foil. Any size, any thickness you can take. Thicknesses we will discuss in the next class. So, and also we will have the thickness of the core. So with that we will discuss in the next class, and bottom core also we will discuss about the thickness. So similarly, if you wanted to have another like 4 layer foil PCB, I will just take a insulator, that is FR4C material, and on top of it we'll keep the copper layer. So on top we have the copper layer, and bottom also we have the copper layer. And to make it bond, we use the pre-pack. So pre-pack is resin soaked. It is a resin soaked fiberglass material, so which is used to bond the 2 copper layers. So I just wanted to add 1 more copper here. So to add the 1 more copper, so I want the pre-pack to be added here. So I just added the pre-pack on top and then bottom side. Now we are getting the 4 different layers. So this is the advantage of foil PCB, where I can use only 1 core, and then so we'll go with the pre-pack, and then again a copper, and then we'll have the core, then we got the copper, and then we got the pre-pack, and finally we got another copper. So here we have the 4 coppers, so that refers to top layer, that is 1 copper layer, and this is 2nd copper layer, and this is the 3rd copper layer, and this is the 4th copper layer. We only have 1 core, and then we got the 2 pre-packs. So this is another setup of foil PCB. So you can arrange any which ways. So if you want only laminates, you will get this only laminates. So if you want to use only laminates, so you will have to increase the number of cores. So this is one way setup of the foil PCB, and we will go for another way of setup using 2 core methods. So we can go to, so we will have the 2 core methods. So we'll take 1 core here, and then another core down here. Okay, so next thing what we need to do is, so we will add a copper on top of the first one, and then copper on top of the bottom, and here also we will add copper, and the next one is this, and between that we are going to put the pre-preg material. So this is the balancing part. So there are 2 cores, so this is what the laminate PCB. So we can also do the same thing using the 2 core and using the foil PCBs. So this is all about laminate as well as foil PCB. In the next session we will discuss about the thickness of PCB, thickness of copper, as well as thickness of laminate and pre-preg.